Today, I'm going to be showing you how to build offers that book 1,000 sales calls. This video is perfect for you if you're a marketing agency owner or you own a B2B service-based business. So to give you some context before I actually go into who I am and also into the meat of the video, in my mind, in marketing and sales, apart from your market, right, your offer is arguably the most important thing in whether you sign new clients or not, as well as in whether you actually book meetings or not, which is why this video is titled the way it is. This is something I learned from Alex Hormozi, who you might know. The market beats the offer, which beats persuasion, which in other words is sales skills, but also the marketing itself. So while I could and I will teach you how to book meetings on this YouTube channel, like I'll literally give you the systems that we build out for clients for free so that if you want to, you can build them yourself. First, you need a great offer, which is what we're going to go over in this video. I know a lot of people do this. I'm going to do it in 30 seconds real quick. Why should you even listen to me here in the first place? We've scaled this company, B2Bscale.io. This is based on last month because I'm filming this in July 2023 to 53K per month so far with 60.45% net profit margins, and we're growing. I've helped personally 100 plus agency owners and B2B business owners in booking more meetings and in sales. And we are currently booking 60 plus meetings per week for ourselves using what I'm about to teach you in this video. And of course, we have booked not just me, but if you include my business partner, over 1,000 sales calls, way over 1,000 sales calls throughout since we started business. Now, once you watch this video, you'll find other very valuable videos in the description of this video on how to book a fuck ton of meetings, such as how to book 45 meetings per month with cold email, or how to send 5,000 cold emails a day, how to book hundreds of meetings with paid ads profitably, keyword profitably, and more. Make sure to go watch them after this video because this is the most important thing. You need to have a good offer first. And by the way, you can find these slides in the description if you'd like to check them out. So here's what we'll be going over. How do you know if your offer is the problem in your marketing and sales? So like, how do I know that's the actual problem? What is an offer? Like, what do I, that's a 30-second thing, but like, what do I actually mean by offer? What makes an offer valuable so that you can understand whether yours is valuable or not? 5 offer building rules that we use to book 1,000 sales calls. So I'm going to give you 5 rules that you can use to actually build your own offers. I'll give you examples of good versus bad offers so you can better understand and better conceptualize everything that I'm teaching you in this video. And then last but not least, I will give you directives and step-by-step instructions to fix your current offer if that is the problem. So 1, how do you know if your offer is the actual problem in your marketing and your sales? Usually, in my mind, if you're not booking enough meetings and obviously not closing enough deals from that, it's because of one of these 2 things for the most part. There's a lot of other things, but it's mainly one of these 2 things. The volume that you're putting out and the offer you're communicating, the communicated offer. And the reason I say communicated offer is because you could have the best service in the world, but if you don't know how to present it in a way that is enticing, which we'll go over that in this video as well, that will be a reason for you not booking enough meetings. Now, there are a lot of other things, as I said, that can be the reason for you not booking enough meetings. But for the most part, the 80-20 is, in my experience, these 2 things. I will tell you that it's hard to say what level of volume is appropriate for you because that is very much niche dependent, industry dependent. But if we assume that you're sending out enough volume, most of the times your offer or the way that you communicate your offer is the problem if you're not booking enough meetings. Because that would include the copy, so the ads themselves, the cold email copy, that's how you communicate your offer. I'll give you some usual volume benchmarks so that you can get a quick idea of whether this might be the problem or not, rather than the offer. These are huge ranges because it really does vary a lot depending on your strategy, with the type of outreach you're doing, whether you're doing a lead magnet, an offer, there's so many things. But in my experience, 500 to 2,500 cold emails, which I know is a big range, should book you at least 1 meeting. If you're spending between 50 to 250 on paid ads, it should also get you 1 meeting. And in my experience, 100 to 500 DMs is also 1 meeting. Huge ranges, but again, that's because it can vary a lot. But hopefully this helps you understand what kind of volume we expect from ourselves and we expect from our clients, and we actually help our clients get to. Ideally though, what you would want to do is to compare your numbers to your peers, like people in your industry that ideally are offering a similar service and who are successful with their marketing and sales, so that you can get a really good grasp on what you should be hitting. But this, what I just gave you, is a good start. Now that you understand how to know whether your offer is a problem or not, basically, as I said, if you're sending enough volume and you're not booking meetings, for the most part, it's usually your offer. Let's go over what I mean when I say offer. This is a 30-second part, but it's very simple. When I say an offer, right, I'm referring to what you do as a business, AKA all of these things right here. I had to remove the logo because there's so many things. So what outcomes you provide for people, what services you use to provide those outcomes, how do you price your services, what risk reversals you have, who else you've helped before, and what work is required on your client's end. There's so many more, but like this is the culmination of everything that you do as a business. That is the offer. I'll give you some examples. This is an offer from a lead gen marketing agency, which is a typical marketing agency. They offer Facebook ads, they have a call center to call the leads for their clients, and they offer Go High Level for dentists, right? That's their offer. Their guarantee is 20 patients, or they give the dentist the money back. And they charge $2,000 a month, and they also ask their clients to spend $1,500 a month on ads. That's an offer. Another one, cold email agency, similar to what we do, but not really. The service is that they send out cold emails, and they offer a $3 an hour VA. They charge $100 per qualified appointment. That's not what we do, by the way, but that's just an example of a lot of cold email agencies. They have a $1,000 setup fee, and they guarantee 15 appointments in the first month, or they refund the setup fee. That's another offer. Now, in my mind, there are two types of offers. This is something that I use to actually make it easier for us to differentiate the marketing versus what we actually do. There are front-end offers and back-end offers. Now, let me quickly explain what that is. The back-end offer is what you actually do as a business, meaning what you pitch people when they hop on sales calls with you. The front-end offer is what you tell people that you do in your marketing. Because while those obviously are very much connected, they can be framed differently. The front-end offer is obviously what matters the most for your marketing. And this is what, again, you're advertising in your ads, your emails, your DMs, your texts, and so on and so forth. It is, of course, based on your back-end offer, but it doesn't have to be framed the same way. And you'll better understand this as we keep going through these slides and I keep giving you examples of offers and the way that you market them. At this point now in this video, you understand how do I know if the offer is a problem and what is an offer. Now let's talk about arguably, in my opinion, the most impactful and valuable piece of this whole video, which is what makes an offer valuable. Because if you understand on a first principles basis what it is that makes an offer valuable, meaning people actually want it, which leads to book sales calls and leads to sales, you'll be able to actually go and look at your offer, and this is what we use as well for our clients, and potentially fix it. So if you're watching this, again, you already have a business, you have an offer, or you have an idea of what you want to offer to people. I'm going to give you the mental frameworks that I use to improve any offer and to know whether an offer will do well or not, which is how we're able to get our clients the results we get them. Just go and check out the testimonials on our YouTube channel if you haven't seen them yet. We get pretty good results, if I may say so myself. And this is how we do it. It's by mainly fixing the offer and then sending out a lot of volume so that people can see the offer. Here's how I determine how valuable an offer is. And you might have seen this before. If not, it's going to change your life and your business. But I use Alex Hormozi's value equation. This is from Alex Hormozi's book, $100 Million Offers, which you can see to the right here. I highly recommend you read that book. It is incredible. But basically the way that this equation works is that it's a really useful tool, a great tool that you can use to determine if something is valuable. And I'm just going to very much simplify it for you. There are 4 aspects to this equation. The dream outcome here, the perceived likelihood of achievement, the time delay, and the effort and sacrifice. And pretty much, to make it simple, you want to increase the dream outcome. You want to increase, and I'm going to explain what that means in a second here, increase the perceived likelihood of achievement, decrease the time delay, and decrease the effort and sacrifice. So I always use this tool in my mind to see how can I make this script, this ad, this offer in terms of the sales side of things better. As I was saying, you can use those 4 things as leverage in your scripts and ads. And in other words, see it this way. If you have something that does any of those 4 things differently from the norm, meaning differently from your competition, you want to mention it. Let me give you examples. Number 1, having a call center. If you're a marketing company, right, and you have a call center that calls the leads for your clients, that reduces the effort and sacrifice. Let's go back, right? The effort and sacrifice is one of the 4 levers. We want to reduce that. So of course, if you have one, you want to mention it, especially if none of your competitors have one. Now, if all of your competitors also have a call center, then maybe it's not as valuable for you to mention it. It's still useful, but like if you are the only, let's say, marketing company that works with HVAC contractors who has a call center, of course you want to mention that because you stand out, right? And you reduce the effort and sacrifice for your clients, which increases the value of your offer. Again, it's the value equation. That's how we use it. Number 2, if you get your clients results twice as fast as your competitors, you want to mention it and you want to mention how you do it. And the reason you want to mention how you do it is because that makes it believable. If your market has been pitched results, let's say in 30 days, over and over for years, and you come in and you say, I can get your results in 15 days, and you're the only person saying that, but you don't explain how you can get them in 15 days, they're just not going to believe you. So if you have something like that, not only do you want to mention it, but you want to mention why you're able to do it that way. And this again goes into the time delay bucket. So remember, we want to reduce the time delay, reduce the effort and sacrifice. So you have something that reduces the time delay, that makes your offer more valuable. So you'd want to mention that as well. 3, if you have a lot of testimonials and you're one of the big dogs, as I like to say, in your industry, meaning one of the category kings, right? No one can beat you. You have so many testimonials. Of course, you want to mention it because that increases the perceived likelihood of achievement bucket. In your prospect's mind, it increases the likelihood that they're actually going to achieve the result that they're paying you for. And just that in and of itself makes your offer more valuable. If your product or service works way better than your competitors, you want to mention it as well. And you want to, again, mention why it does to make it believable. Same thing as I said earlier. If you have something that's new, that's very powerful compared to your competitors, and you say that you can get them these results, but you don't say why you're able to get them these results when everybody else can't get them, they're just not going to believe you. So you want to mention that as well. And this goes into the dream outcome bucket. We want to increase the dream outcome. We want to increase what we're able, like the promise that we're making them, while again, still making it believable. The more I can promise you, the more valuable my offer is. Of course, make sure that you can actually deliver on it. But if I can get you 10 meetings a month versus 100 meetings a month, the 100 meetings a month offer is way more valuable. And example number 5, if you have a crazy guarantee that no one else in your market has, you want to mention it as well. Why? It increases 2 things. Perceived likelihood of achievement, because if I'm hopping on a sales call with you and you have a guarantee that no one else has, or just a really good guarantee in general, I'm like, okay, well, I'm more confident that I can actually achieve the outcome that they are promising because they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. And it also increases the dream outcome because now if your guarantee is way better than everybody else, your promise in and of itself becomes way better than everybody else. You're promising better results than everybody else. So you increase the dream outcome. That makes your offer more valuable. And just so you understand, we want to make our offer as valuable as possible compared to the competition and just in general, because that's going to lead to more meetings. It's going to lead to more sales, and you're going to be able to potentially charge more and be more profitable. Because if I can get you 100 meetings in a month versus 10, I can charge you way more if I can get you 100 because you're going to make 10 times the money from that. And now you might be asking yourself, like, this is great. I know how to make an offer better. I know what makes an offer valuable. But how do I know if my offer is good enough? When do I stop adding more stuff to it to make it better? I would answer that by saying you never do really. You always try to make it better, in my opinion. There's no reason to not make an offer more valuable, though you do have to consider profit margins and things like that. But an easy way to understand if an offer is good enough to get you a lot of meetings and a lot of sales and help you scale profitably is that it depends on what your competition is marketing. It depends on what your market is currently used to being pitched. That is really the answer. So my philosophy on it is look at what your competition is doing or marketing, right? And do it better. Using what we just learned in the value equation. You can pull any of those 4 levers, and if what you're offering is better than what your prospects are used to seeing in ads, emails, and so on and so forth, that will get you more meetings than your competition. So here are some more examples, again, just to help you better understand this. If no one in your market is offering a guarantee, offer one. You just increase the perceived likelihood of achievement and potentially the dream outcome. If everyone is promising results in 1 month's time, make it 2 weeks. You just reduce the time delay. Now you're better than your competition. You're going to get more meetings. If everyone uses the same mechanism to deliver results, this is harder to do, obviously, but offer a new, better mechanism. You increase the dream outcome. So that's how I look at it in terms of how do I make an offer valuable. It all depends on what your prospects are used to being pitched through their ads, through the DMs, the emails, the sales calls. You look at that and you try to make it better. I'm now going to give you 5 offer building rules that I use to build offers, things that I check off whenever I'm building offers. But before I do want to remind you, once you've finished this video and you've gotten the value from it, we have even better videos that kind of follow up on this in our channel. Because I'm going to teach you here how to build an offer, but what you then want to do is actually promote that offer. And I'm going to show you how to do that profitably using cold email, paid ads, DMs, and more. So go watch that once you're done with this video. So you'll now understand what makes an offer valuable and what an offer is in the first place. So I'm going to go over the 5 rules that I use to actually build front-end offers that get a lot of meetings, a lot of positive replies, and a lot of sales eventually. 1, your offer needs to provide a desirable outcome. And let me explain what that means. It needs to be focused around the outcomes, not the services that you offer for the most part, unless the service is something new and different. And I'll give you an example of a desirable outcome, right? For a marketing agency. Doctor, let's say, 10 patients in 10 days. Getting somebody 10 new clients in a month. Booking somebody 100 meetings in a month. That's a desirable outcome that businesses want. Here's an example of services, which if you're promoting this in your ads and emails, you can mention this, of course, but it shouldn't be the main thing. People want outcomes, not services. So an example of services is we'll run your Facebook ads or we'll manage your social media. That is not valuable in and of itself, because it does not explain what the outcome is. What are you doing for me, right? What is the outcome that I'm getting from you working with me? Sure, you use Facebook ads, but what does that mean? Because the business owners that you're promoting this to, they don't know what that means, right? So you want to tell them what the outcome is, and you want to make sure it's desirable so that you can get a lot of meetings and a lot of sales. Now, as I said earlier, the only exception that I'd add to this is if the service that you offer, again, the mechanism that you offer, as I mentioned earlier when we talked about the value equation, is new. It's unique. So, for example, this is what we're doing right now. We'll set up our 5,000 cold emails per day AI system in your business. This is literally what we're promoting in our ads and our emails and everything. Why? Because no one else is promoting that. It's different. It stands out. So we're focusing on the mechanism, the service itself, because our market knows what cold email is, which right now we're promoting this to marketing agencies and B2B businesses. They know what that is, but they haven't seen something like this before. And just that is enough to get them on a call. And of course, buying our services and getting our help. 2, your offer ideally ought to have risk reversal in it to make it easier for your prospects to commit. And here's why. People buy from people that they trust. I want you to take that and put it in your brain. People buy from people that they trust. Maybe you've heard the quote, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. That is the order of importance, but in reverse. Because knowing somebody is the first step. Liking them is useful. It's very useful if people like you. But trust is like the most important thing in why people buy. Because look at it this way, right? If I trust that you're going to get me the result that you're promising that you're going to get me, but I don't necessarily like you too much, nor do I dislike you. I'm just like, okay, I'm way more likely to buy than if I like you a lot, but I don't have the trust that you're actually going to get me the results that you're promising. Trust, in my opinion, and from what I've learned from people that are very successful, is probably the most important factor in whether somebody will actually commit with you and buy something from you versus not doing so. So as I was saying, right, as I say here as well, if people like or want what you provide as a business owner, they will buy it if they trust that you can actually deliver on it. Now, there are a couple of exceptions, logistical things, but for the most part, this is a framework that has been useful for ourselves. But a lot of times, unfortunately, right, prospects don't trust you yet because they just don't know you. Let's say they saw you in an ad or an email, they just found out about you. The exception to that is, of course, if you have a brand or you've provided a lot of value to prospects through free content, which is part of why we're doing this, to build trust so you can see that we know what we're doing if you're considering potentially working with us. But if you haven't done any of those two, and even if you did, like we're doing that, this is free content you're watching right now, you can still use risk reversal mechanisms to compensate for the lack of trust that the prospects have in you. It's like, I don't trust you, but you're willing to put your money where your mouth is, so let me buy from you. Here are some examples of what that is, and you've of course heard of some of these before. Guarantees, trials or test drives, if you want to call them that, so it can be a free or a paid trial. Performance offers, those are 3 things that are very, very useful and that we always recommend our clients have in their offers. We have a guarantee as well, for example. We guarantee 10 clients in 4 months, right? Despite the fact that, like I said, I'm building trust with you. Like right now, hopefully you're getting value from this and maybe you're waiting to hop on a call with us. I'm building trust, but I still want to build more trust and compensate for whatever lack of trust there is. So we add a guarantee to our offer. Now, just to understand, they will help you risk reversal, not just with closing, because it'll help you when the person's on the sales call if you can say that you guarantee something, but it'll also, of course, help you book more meetings. If you use this in your ads and your script, you will book more calls from it. Now, the third rule that we use is that if you can, you want to innovate. This is huge, by the way. This is huge. You want to try to stand out from the herd, aka your competition. Try not to run the same thing as everyone else. Basically, when you sell a commodity, right, which is basically the same thing as everybody else is selling, it's much harder to close and it's much harder to book meetings because your prospects are just used to seeing your stuff. They've seen it over and over again. They've seen your pitch all the time. So if you have the same services and the same risk reversal, let's say a guarantee, as everyone else, the only thing that can differentiate you at that point is social proof. So it becomes a battle of who's been in the game for the longest. But when you have something that is different and seemingly better, right? You can charge more, close more, or you're going to book more meetings because new beats better. If I have something new, it will book me more meetings, it will close more deals, and if I have the same thing as everybody else, but I just do it a little bit better. That can also work, of course, but if I have something new, completely different mechanism that no one has ever pitched anybody in and ever, it's going to get me more meetings and more sales because now people are going to hop on the call and be like, I've never seen this before. And ideally, if you mix that with, of course, social proof, right? And a guarantee, like I was saying before, a good risk reversal or performance offer, it's going to crush. Now, just understand, when I say to innovate, it doesn't mean you have to change your core offering, like your mechanism, like what I said. You can change a lot of different things, and I'll give you some examples of what you can innovate on. One is your niche. So if you're targeting a market that no one else is targeting with the same offer as everybody else, but they haven't seen that offer, that is innovation. You can innovate your risk reversal, the guarantee you offer, the free trials you offer, whatever it is that you're doing there. If you're pitching a performance paper appointment offer in a market that has never been pitched at, even though you offer the same service as everybody else, you're going to book a lot of meetings from it and you're going to close a lot of deals. You can innovate in your marketing and your ads, so you can offer the same thing as everybody else, but if you frame it / pitch it / market it in a different way that is completely stands out, you're going to also book more meetings and get more sales from it. And 4, you can, of course, like I was saying, innovate on your delivery mechanism. So what do you actually do? And that's what we have done to some degree, right? We're sending out 5,000 cold emails per day for our clients. Most cold email companies / agencies, they don't do that much volume. So we're innovating on the delivery mechanism to some degree. Now, keep in mind, there are other places that you can innovate as well, but these are the 4 that came to my mind and where I've seen the most innovation from other companies and peers and friends of ours. Now, the 4th offer building rule that we use is to always take into consideration the list/audience that you're targeting when you're building your offer. That's not necessarily related to the offer itself, but it's something that is very important to keep in mind when you're building an offer or changing an offer. Like, who am I actually showing this to, right? Because that matters a lot. If you could have the best offer of all time, but if you're showing it to the wrong people, it just won't matter. And I'll give you examples there in the good versus bad examples. We've had this happen before. I'll show you what happened so you can kind of better understand this later in the video. Here's an example though to also kind of help you better understand this. If you help dentists improve their current ads results, meaning you help dentists improve their ads that they are already running, and you only work with dentists that are already running ads, you don't want to send out messages to every dentist. You want to send them to the people that are already running ads. Things like that can make or break your outreach, your advertising, and everything else that you're doing to get more meetings. And the 5th rule that I have for building out great offers is to be careful in how you price it. This is more related to the sales aspect of things, not the actual booking of meetings, but it's still something that I wanted to give you in this video because it's very important to consider. How you price your offer could be the reason that you're not closing deals or that you're heavily churning clients, which means your LTV is low. Again, you can have the best delivery mechanism of all time, but if it is overpriced for what you're giving people, people will not buy it. The way we look at it, and you can see this highlighted in yellow here, whatever we price our service at, we want to make sure that people get at least a 5 to 10x ROI from it. Not necessarily that same month, but over the lifetime of their use of the product. So for example, in our case, as I'm filming this, our offer is a build out, meaning we build out a system, we give it to you, right? And then it's yours forever. So I priced it where I looked at how much money will people make with it over a year. So even though our program is 4 months, because you're going to keep it after that. And I made sure that we would price it in a way where you would get a 10x ROI over that time frame. Now, I do want to say real quick, if you're considering working with us, you will get an ROI during the program as well. But sometimes it might be lower than 10x depending on your offer, your experience, how good you are at sales. But I know for a fact that over at least a year, like, you'll easily hit 10x ROI by far. Like, most people, it's not even, like, the beginners who don't know how to sell, who don't know anything, you'll hit 10x. The ones who are really good at everything and you have experience, you'll hit 20, 30, 40, 50x, right? So now we've gone over what makes an offer valuable and the rules we use to build offers. I'm now going to give you examples of good versus bad offers. And these are offers that I've created, so I'm not perfect, guys. I will say that every bad offer that I'm going to show you here, we've then fixed for the client and we cracked the code, right? But we have done bad offers. We're not perfect. Most of them are good though, so it was way easier to find the good ones. But now that you have a better understanding of what makes a great offer, let's go over a couple of examples. So you can see this really put in action and you can better understand what I'm teaching you in this video even more. I'm going to show you these great versus bad offers, and I'm also going to explain why they're great and why they're bad by referring back to what we talked about earlier in this video. So let's start with this first one, which crushed it. So, hey there, this is a cold email copy, right? We've created a new strategy that targets decompression and shockwave patients with TikTok ads. Our chiropractors are getting up to 40 new patients per week walking in their doors, and the system's fully automated. And then after that, it was a call to action. Is this something you're interested in, for example? So this crushed it. And if you understood anything from what I talked about earlier, you should clearly see like, okay, I can see why this crushed it. But if you don't, that's fine because you're learning. So let me explain it to you. So let's go back to the value equation and what I was talking about earlier. There's a couple things here that we did following that value equation that increased the value of this offer. And because of that, it led to a lot of meetings and a lot of closed deals for this client of ours. So number one, the dream outcome, right? Our chiropractors are getting up to 40 new patients per week walking in their doors. The norm in this industry, because I I had a chiropractic market agency, is about 20 new patients per month. He's saying our chiropractor is getting up to 40 a week using this new strategy. So immediately, boom, that stands out. The dream outcome has increased way more than your competition. Two, going back to the value equation again. Remember how we wanted to reduce the effort and sacrifice and reduce the time delay? We're not reducing the time delay here necessarily, but we are reducing the effort and sacrifice. It says here, the system's fully automated, no chasing leads. So I will say that in this industry, right, other agencies are also offering, let's say, call centers are automated. So it's not amazing in and of its own, but it's still, like I was saying earlier, even if other people are doing it, it's still useful to mention it because it does increase the value of your offer, and consequently, it increases the results you're going to get from your advertising and your marketing in general. Now that's for the value equation, right? Let's go back to the rules that I gave you, the 5 rules. I said to innovate, number one. And what this person has done is, this is what we mentioned in the first line, they innovated on the mechanism. We've created a new strategy that targets decompression and shockwave patients with TikTok ads. So with TikTok ads is the mechanism, and they also innovated on the niche, as I was saying earlier, because chiropractors is a huge niche, but within that industry, there are sub niches, right? Or like different types of patients that you can market for them. They have regular chiropractic patients, decompression, shockwave, functional medicine, and I could go on. So we sub-niched even more and said not just regular patients, but decompression and shockwave. And I believe later we even added chiropractic, just regular, because that's a huge niche, and it did even better. But regardless, we're now specifying sub-niches that we can get these patients for. So we're innovating on the mechanism, and we're innovating on who we're doing this for in a way, right? Because we're targeting not just chiropractors, but chiropractors that offer decompression and shockwave. And I will say one final thing, even though you can't see it in this part of the script, we also had a guarantee. We guarantee 100,000 views or you don't pay. So again, as I was saying earlier, this is one of the 5 rules. You want to add a risk reversal. So this crushed it. Now let's go over the second offer, and this is ours. So I'm kind of flexing right now, but regardless, why did this one crush it for us? Again, let's start with the value equation and see the 4 levers and what we pulled to actually get better results with this script. First, let's talk about the dream outcome. So we're promising 120 qualified sales calls in the next 120 days. That is a pretty significant dream outcome. It could always be higher, of course, but it's valuable. People want 120 qualified sales calls. Next, the perceived likelihood of achievement. So there's the guarantee, the risk reversal. Like I said, one of the rules, we added a guarantee, which increases the likelihood that it's actually going to happen, right? They're like, okay, these people are guaranteeing 10 clients or money back, which is a strong guarantee. That means it's likely to happen. Like, it's more likely than if they didn't. So by adding this guarantee, we increase the perceived likelihood of achievement. The next thing we did, and this is kind of subtle, is very subtle, but you notice I say 13x ROI. This also increases, in my mind, the perceived likelihood of achievement, even though you might have not thought about that, because it's so specific. So I'm saying that people get a 13x ROI. The reason I say that is because it's such a random number. It's not like 10 or 5, it's 13, is because by having such a specific number, it makes it seem like, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I do know people can get a 13x ROI, but we don't have the stats on that. So this is kind of a number I pulled out of my ass. But again, I do know people can hit those numbers. I use the number because it makes it seem like it's actually pulled from real stats because of how specific it is, which increases the likelihood that, okay, these guys know what they're doing. That's very subtle, but that's another thing. Going back to the dream outcome, you'll notice in the second line as well, I go over what it does. This system sends out 3,000 cold emails, 400 DMs per day, and has 10 to 50K per month of revenue to online businesses. Dream outcome. And I also innovated on the mechanism. So I mentioned, the reason I mentioned the mechanism is because this is not a common mechanism. For context, guys, at the time of you watching this, we might not be doing exactly this. Obviously, we're still doing something valuable, but this is what we did back then. And I mentioned that because it's different. I'm innovating on the mechanism. Now, I don't mention anything related to time delay or effort or sacrifice, but because it would have been a bit long. But something I could have said is like, hey, we have a VA that managed the whole system for you so that you don't have to do anything yourself. That could have been another line, and that's effort and sacrifice. I could have also said, we can warm up these emails in 5 days, which is true, by the way, so that you don't have to wait 2 to 4 weeks to actually start getting results. That's time delay. I could have mentioned that as well. It would have gotten a bit long, but just some other things that would have made the offer more valuable and could have gotten those potentially more positive replies. That's why this script did so well. Now let's go over bad offers and why it didn't do well. So let's go over this first bad offer, which it didn't do well for this client, but eventually we changed it and it is working very well right now. He's booking 2 meetings a day, maybe 3. I don't remember the exact numbers, but regardless. Hey there, are you running ads or doing organic marketing for company names? So we call out the audience that we want to talk to. If yes, I think you might be interested in this. We help high-ticket coaches and consultants increase their funnels and websites conversion rates by 25-50%. Those results are guaranteed. You get your money back if you don't hit them. And then call to action. So why did this not do well? Remember, one of the things that I told you before in one of the 5 rules is to be careful in who you're targeting. What we did is we ran this offer. There's a couple things, but I'll tell you this first one. We ran this offer to every coaching consultant on the planet, but not every coaching consultant on the planet is running ads or doing organic marketing. If this offer, instead of targeting those people, was an offer that could apply to every coaching consultant. So let's say, appointment setting offer, we'll get you 100 meetings next month. Just that would have made it perform better with our targeting because of the fact that we were targeting every coaching consultant. We weren't niched down to the ones that are only doing ads or organic marketing. So that's number 1. Number 2, going back to the value equation, the dream outcome here, it just depends on who you promise it to, but for the most part, for most people, is not very impressive because most people don't make a lot of money. So if I'm promising to increase your conversion rates by 25-50%, it's just, for most people, that's not a lot of money. If I promise that to a coach that is making 500K per month on one funnel and I increase that by 25%, that is incredibly valuable. But most people are not doing that, which is why the software, in my opinion, that's the second reason why it didn't perform too well. A third one that I'll add to that as well, and then I'll stop it here, but this is also why I believe it didn't do too well. The offer is not too clear. So what I mean by that is that increase the conversion rate by 25-50%. You're now asking the prospect, and I made this mistake, guys. I wrote this up. The client came up with the offer, but I wrote it up, so I didn't, I learned from it as well. You're now expecting for the prospects to do the math in their head of what that would actually mean for them. So just that is making the offer and the actual script worse, because now you're asking for the prospect to do more work. If this instead said, we help you add 10 to 50K in MRR to your business by optimizing your funnels, just that would have made it do way better, because it's way more clear. There's less confusion, and there's just those two things would have improved the results. So let's go over a second one that didn't do too well as well, which again we fixed later, and I'll tell you why it didn't do well. Hello First Name, I know that you're in charge of marketing a company name, so I thought this might be useful. Would you be interested in a promotional video for your company? And here's why I asked. We just worked with Pfizer and helped them create new marketing content. They really love the videos. Reply with yes if you'd like to learn more, and I'll send you our video portfolio. And by the way, we also guarantee that you'll generate at least 1 million views, or we'll give you your investment back. So why did this not do too well? Let's again go back to the value equation. That's the tool that I use. The dream outcome that is being promised is, in my opinion, not too valuable just based off this script. We do have the guarantee, which is the only way to actually understand what they can get out of the service. But in and of itself, the script and the offer, the front end offer, doesn't focus on the dream outcome. Instead, it focuses a lot on the service and the actual thing, not the result that they're getting. So would you be interested in a promotional video so that you can generate XYZ dollars, generate XYZ amount of views, do this, this, and that? That's what I would say there. There is perceived likelihood of achievement, because we say we work with Pfizer, which is a huge company, obviously, so they know like, okay, these guys are legit. But for the most part, if we look at time delay, effort, and sacrifice, those are okay. Obviously, we could add there some things there, but like the main reason that this offer didn't do well is that the dream outcome that is being promised is not really too valuable. It's not perceived as too valuable. As I said earlier, we try to focus in our copy on outcomes, not services. This focuses too much on the service. Now, the way that we fix this is by just improving the offer, right? Instead of offering a guarantee, we offered one free video. And that got obviously a lot more responses, but if I was to even improve this, I would focus on an outcome on top of that. So you improve the outcome that they get. We're going to generate XYZ amount of dollars for your company. We're going to get you XYZ amount of views, not in the guarantee, which is at the bottom, but even at the top of the script. And even though it says free, the people hopping on don't really mind what it said, and they're closing on actual paid plans. But that's how I would take this offer and make it even better. Now, last but not least, let's talk about how to fix your current offer now that you know everything that we talked about and you have a better understanding of what makes an offer valuable. So I'll give you a step-by-step process. One is you understand what your market is being pitched on a regular basis. So what is my competition doing? And the way that you do that is you can easily just go search for the Facebook ad library on Google. Let's say I was running a chiropractic market agency, I would search marketing chiropractors in the Facebook ad library. Another thing you can do is you can Google marketing for chiropractors. And once you've done that, you'll get a better idea of what your current market is pitching. And it's also something that you're going to get a better grasp of as you hop on calls with your prospects, if you haven't already, depending on who's watching this, hopped on a lot of sales calls. Now that you understand what your market is being pitched, you want to one-up the competition by pulling one of, or many as we saw, of these 4 levers, which we talked about in the value equation. The dream outcome. What are you promising them? And I'll give you again some more examples, hopefully to help you use this in your business. Most of the people that we work with right now are market agencies, though we do have people from other industries as well. So I'll give you market agencies examples, and you can of course apply these to your business. If your competitors are offering 10, 20 new patients a month, you could offer 30 to 40. Of course, just make it believable, because if everybody's saying 20, you're saying 40, people won't believe you. So it's useful here to have, like we saw earlier in the good script, a unique mechanism that allows you to actually prove that you're able to get that many patients for people. If you have an offer like ours, and you have a cold email agency, and you're sending out 500 cold emails per day for your clients and getting them a certain amount of meetings, let's say 10 per month, why not send 5,000 and get them 100 a month? Now you stand out from everybody else because your dream outcome is way bigger. And of course, you might want to explain how you're able to get that many meetings, because by the fact that you're able to send 5,000 cold emails a day. Now, of course, second thing in the value equation, you want to improve on the perceived likelihood of achievement. If you have social proof, you just add social proof. If you don't have any, and you make sure that prospects see the social proof, if you don't have any, you just want to add better risk reversals. So I'll give you examples of people that I've seen do that and book a lot of meetings. One of the testimonials on our YouTube channel, Caleb Che, he went into a market and he offered a performance offer at a time when no one else was doing it. And he would book 100 to 150 meetings per week because of that. That's like adding better risk reversals, adding unique risk reversals that no one else in your market has seen will get you those types of results. So you can have a better guarantee, you can have a performance offer, which will book you a lot of meetings, or you can offer a test drive or a free trial. You don't have to do all three of these things, nor do you have to do any of them really. But as you saw, if you can get results, why not prove it, right? And just being able to prove it will get you more meetings and will get you more sales. The third one we talked about was the time delay, right? Get results faster. So what that means, again, as I was just saying, is to get results faster for your clients or reduce the setup time. So again, some more examples. You own a cold email agency. Can you get your clients warmed up in 5 days instead of 14 or 28? How long does it take for your clients to actually see a meeting or to see a lead? Does it take 30 days? Does it take 2 days? Like, if you can make it 1 hour instead of 30 days, which just happened to us, we launched and a guy got a meeting in 1 hour, right? Me being able to say that makes our offer more valuable. And if you can do that as well, like for example, if you offer financing for companies like mine, if it takes 3 weeks for a client to get the funds so that we can actually charge them versus you're a new financing company, which takes 3 hours, that is so much more valuable than the other one, because now we can close the clients faster, collect the cash faster, and get them ramped up faster. And we can scale faster because of it. That's another example. And the final one, right? Effort and sacrifice. Do you have a call center? If not, can you add a call center? Can you add an AI chatbot that automatically gets back to the leads by text for your clients and reduces their need to actually do that themselves? Those are the most common ones really regarding the effort and sacrifice that I've seen, especially in the marketing agency space. But if you could like do more for your clients compared to your competition, again, right? One up the competition. Like if you can, why not, right? Especially if you're not booking enough meetings. Like that's why you would do this, when you would improve. If you're not booking enough meetings and you have a way to easily like reduce the effort and sacrifice that your clients have to do, assuming that they hate doing that effort and sacrifice, right? Especially if they hate doing it. For example, like most local businesses hate calling the leads. They don't like it for the most part. So if you can tell them you have a call center, that's why it's so valuable, because there's pain associated with having to call the leads. If they like calling the leads, then even if you reduce their effort and sacrifice, they wouldn't care because they like it. But if you can do that, do it. And guys, that is it for this video. I know it was pretty long, but hopefully you found a lot of value from this. And if you have in any way, if you found a little bit of value from this video, guess what? Like I said earlier, there are other videos in the description where you can get even more values. And the way it's framed on our YouTube channel is we have playlists for different things. Playlists for how to book more meetings, playlists for how to perform better, playlists for how to close deals, maybe even a place for how to hire. I'm saying maybe because I'm going to film more in the future. So go check out those playlists and you can find the link to them in the description of this video. If you'd like to see if we can help you book 20 to potentially 100 meetings a month with our systems, where we'll build out the systems for you and guarantee results, right? I'm following our rules here. You will find a link in our YouTube channel to book a time with our team, where we're not necessarily going to not necessarily, we're just not going to hard close you. We're just going to see if we can even help in the first place, because that's how we do things. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in some other videos.